Hello everybody, today I would like to share some tips about property investing. Particularly I was asked questions about how to choose a location. So now it all depending on the type of strategy that you're going to implement. So basically there is a few things that you would do and there is a few things that you won't do in terms of choosing location. So I have a few here that I will share it with you. I would recommend, if you were to buy the property for investment purpose, the first thing you would consider is where actually will generate income for you. A lot of people will look into buying properties in the city center, find it very expensive, and the yield not necessarily be very good. So I would say the first thing that you're looking at is the growth area. So you were looking at the first thing as for the location of the property for the income generation purpose, like for example investment property, buy-to-let property, HMO, service accommodation, whatever that strategy using. I was looking at the high growth location. So what does high growth location mean? Means that there is certain area are saturated, like the city centre, London town centre, Manchester, Leeds town centre might be quite built up. When they were built up, the price is going to be really high. However, there is town and cities surrounding area, for example, like London, M25 location, outskirts of London, outskirts of Manchester, outskirts of Leeds, in any big city in town like Birmingham, outskirts of Birmingham. All of these outskirt location is people moving out of town centre, city centre, and leave, but within the communal distance into the city centre where they worked. So these generating high growth in the sense of there are more development going on. The travel distance is not far. When more people moving, because it's more affordable, more people will be moving to settling in. Because more people moving in means that actually more school needed for the children, more shops needed for the community, more hospital, and you can imagine more entertainment, more restaurants and all of that. So that means that if you were to buy property or rent a property in those locations, there will be capital appreciation in the next few years. So then the first thing when we look at property investing is about generating the passive income. It's like if you don't have to do anything, the property bringing money for you, that we call it two things here. One, passive income is about the rental. The second is, which is the key for the property investing, is about capital appreciation. So this usually is a much bigger, income generation. Although rental income could be really good if you have the high cash flow strategy, not single buy-to-let, but if you do HMO or you do service accommodation and the corporate let market, it could be a really, really good income generation. So the other thing that we wanted to look at is the transport link. What you don't want to do is to buy a property in the middle of nowhere where it's very difficult to get to. Because if you buy a property in nearer enough to motorway, dual carriageway, it's very easy for traveling, or there is a lot of really good communal public transport, then people get in and get out a lot easier without having to queue half an hour, in a traffic jam. Then this is ideal for the people who can't afford city centre, town centre, like a bit of quiet, surrounding villages or districts and little town, but still working in the city centre or town centre. So the transport link is one of the very important, really, really important element. Now, the next element, I would say, how build up what are the population. Because if you are buying the property in a big enough town and city, it would go up in value. If you buy in the middle of nowhere, the market value might have been stored for quite some time before you even get around, if in case that you moved out of that town or city, you try to sell it. It takes forever to sell it. So, and if you buy for investment purpose, apart from having the single let yield, there is no traffic at all whatsoever for HMO, for service accommodation, for any other strategy. So that is quite important. A lot of people don't look at it. They sometimes pick up a broken house. They call it rotten house, broken house, whatever you call it, in auction. So they buy a house, need fixing, in auction, pay full amount for it, try to fix it. After they fix it, they try to sell it, can't sell, because the house is not in a desirable area. There's no demand for people to buy a house in that location. There's no demand even for people if they wanted to rent it out, because there's no traffic in the location. There's not enough demand in the location. So demand is also one of the very important things that we're looking at. So the next thing that I will talk about is the amenity. So what it is that if you're buying a property in an area where you have high growth, but it might be just that it was the first new block of house built, nothing else is built. Basically, you have a satellite tenant city. You got the house are built brand new, so you order it a couple of years ago. Now it's ready to be moving in. So if that's your circumstances, although the capital appreciation could be pretty good, to transport is not a problem. The population overall could be good. However, there might not be enough amenity. What does it mean is that it's too early stage for you to be able to get a good enough income to justify. Because any new property you buy, it takes a bit of time before it actually adds in value. So what we need to look at is that you wanted to buy in the area, but not the first block of property in that block. You might buy the second phase, or the third phase, or the fourth, if that makes sense. Because the first one is too early for you to capitalize whatever benefit you wanted in the area. Let them build, let them settle in. You buy the second, the third, the fourth, or the fifth, because at that point people are start moving in. They started to needed that facility, and at that point the amenity will have catching up. Hospital will be built, restaurant will be built, the supermarket will be built, the nursery, the school. So in terms of amenity, it's important that you buy the property not too early in an area if it's like a high growth location, developing area, because you want it to have people move in already. Then the consumption of the facilities around the location, when the supermarket, corner shops, cinemas, hospitals, and restaurants and all that built, it is then at that point you will realize that the demand for that area are growing consistently, that you can benefit from the growth of the pricing, capital appreciation, the growth of the rental, are much more demand, much more popular. And at that point you will see how busy they're getting to. And you don't have to wait for very long for more people will be moving in, because it then become a much more newer estate, much more bigger area and more vibrant. And then if you buy properties in a location at the time like that, then you will be almost guaranteed that your rental income is going to be better. You can then capitalize the capital appreciation and in a high growth location, and then it will be a good investment, in my opinion. I hope you found it useful, and if you liked what I talk about, put in below the drop box about what kind of topic you wanted to know about property investing, and I would like to share with you a bit more. Thank you very much for watching. I wish you all the best.